Welcome back to the Watchman News and the Art of War 2nd Edition, Lesson 8. Today we're going to talk about what I call the Emo-Capitalist, okay? And I have to put that type of a title on it because there's not any one particular emotion that they prey upon. And in fact, many of them have learned that they are much more likely of being successful in their endeavors if they nail you with multiple emotions, especially ones like fear and flattery, okay? So here's the thing. It's important for us to be able to discern, to recognize, reject, and also, this is so important, probably the most important part, and this is the part where the majority of people fail, calling them out. We're not supposed to be shy, timid creatures that just don't, do anything. Just sit back and let all kinds of craziness go on before our eyes. And in fact, it's been stated many times from many people about the only thing that evil needs is for people to stand by, to stand back, not to do anything, not to try to stop it. You've also heard things about how the United States, for instance, could only be destroyed from within. Okay? All of these things are true with these emo-capitalists. Okay? And what is an emo-capitalist? Well, that's somebody that stands to benefit one way or another by getting you emotionally engaged. This could be politicians, which happens a lot, but it also happens when it comes to like YouTube content creators. It happens all the time. Another group of individuals that are horrible are motivational speakers. Yep, and here's why. I have yet to see a motivational speaker that put out one CD, right, or one edition, right? They don't do that. How are they going to make money that way? They have to keep you coming back for more. Now, this just to me seems so moronic. Because if you're learning independence, if you're learning self-motivation, then why are you needing to go back to that person to get a refill? It doesn't make any sense. So, my opinion, be wary of those people too. Not just the individuals that are involved in motivational speaking, but the individuals that promote it, the individuals that use it. It doesn't make sense. And especially if an individual uses motivational speakers and claims to be a follower of the Father, yeah, makes no sense at all, because you know what? They've got the most important, biggest power right there. But yet, they go and seek men to fill them with the emotion that they need to drive. And when I say drive, I don't mean a car. Whatever it is that they're trying to get motivated to do. There are people out there that don't give a damn about you. They will say they do. They will act like they do. But you have to read between the lines. I've said it a ton of times. This is why I don't sit there and gush all over our viewers and stuff like that. I'm not going to. It's not necessary, for one. It shouldn't be necessary. I shouldn't have to kiss your ass. I shouldn't have to play up to you to get you to watch my content. And I'm not gonna. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you do, you do. But it's not even about that. Like I've said a million times, I didn't come here to make friends. I didn't come here to become famous. I didn't come here to be rich. So, more examples, like right now, in the news, we're dealing with supposed reemergence of COVID in China, and it almost appears like China is trying to send as many people as many different places before travel bans essentially get put in place. And I don't know what that, if that's what's really going on. But now you've got the same people that back in 2019, 2020, the same individuals that was trying to downplay what was going on with COVID and telling you that it was just the flu and telling you all this other nonsense, right? Based on their emotions because they were too weak to accept the truth. Now, those same individuals, the ones that even completely denied its existence, are out there trying to fearmonger individuals about a reemergence of COVID. Folks, you shouldn't desire this. You shouldn't need it. And you shouldn't go along with it. Every day, there's and I'll call it out, full spectrum survival. I watch his content every day because he's got a lot of good information in there. However, he always has to add 10 levels of fear to every single thing every single day. And then turns around, it blows my mind, when somebody calls him out on it, he does everything he can to justify his fear-mongering. The guy, almost 2 years ago was trying to convince people they needed to go everywhere with their body armor on? Come on. He's a fear capitalist. A fear capitalist. And you will find this in many of the prepping channels. That's literally what they're living on. Is your fear. They are using the people that watch their content. They are using them. Plain and simple. It is what it is. People will try to capitalize off of your emotions in any way they can. And it's not just fear. Pride is another one that they love to capitalize on. All those channels, for instance, and I'm using channels as an example because, hey, here we are. But you have all those channels that are set there and, I've got the smartest, best audience in the entire world. You guys are the most wonderful thing that ever walked the planet. First of all, if you need to hear that to feel good about yourself, you need to work on your foundation. That's what you need to work on. You need to drop everything and work on that foundation first. If you're somebody that needs to hear that, in order to listen to somebody, in order to learn, quote unquote, learn from somebody. Anytime anyone uses any type of language or tone of voice or anything like that to emotionally move you, they are, in fact, manipulating you. Plain and simple. That's manipulation. It doesn't get any more manipulative than that. When you play on people's emotions to garner a response that you've already got the answer to. Funny how that works, right? And they'll call the government out for the Hegelian dialectic. They'll call the government out for that, and rightfully so, I will too. But then they will turn around and use the Hegelian dialectic against you. Yes, YouTube content creators are using it daily against you. Because, you're not going to survive unless you listen to their channel. You're not going to survive unless you buy this item. Stop. Stop. And stop the people doing it. And I don't know it verbatim, but the only thing it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to stand idly by. And these emo-capitalists, that's evil. Plain and simple. It's our job, as people who follow the Father, to do what we can to make sure that our brothers and sisters don't stumble in those holes. Now, who do you want to work for? Man? Meaning you don't want to cause any waves, any ripples, because you don't want, people to maybe look at you in a negative light? Or do you want to stand for the Father who says, be bold and courageous, blow your trumpet? I'm going to work for the Father. I'm going to continue to work for the Father until my last breath on this planet. And then I intend to work for Him for the rest of eternity. We have a great God. Sometimes it's a little hard to understand what His plans or what His goals is for us. Sometimes it may seem a little dark. But you know what? He's always seen me through. And before it's all said and done with, I obtain an understanding of why He needed things to be the way they are. Folks, the emo-capitalists are all over. I know I call out YouTube content creators, but it covers politicians, it covers entertainers, athletes, anything, anywhere you go, the store, anywhere you go, just out in public, you have people that will try to fearmonger you into things, right? Or that will try to dissuade you from things. And that's another one. That's another emo-capitalist, is those individuals that would try to dissuade you from doing things. Why? Not because they truly don't believe that you can do it, not because they truly are concerned you might get injured trying or anything like that, but because they don't have the motivation and drive to do it themselves, and they don't want to see anybody else do it, because the taller you look, the shorter they look. And there's a lot of that in society. Oh, well, you can't do that. Don't do that. No, you can't do that. Emo-capitalists. They're all around. They really are. And the sooner that you as an individual start calling them out, pointing them out, the sooner we can actually start to have some progress. But as it stands, these emo-capitalists, whether it's in politics or whether it's YouTube content creators or whatever it is, they've got to spin your wheels in the mud. And we can't move forward because they're keeping you in that ditch, because that ditch is profitable to them one way or another. They need you in that ditch. Get out of that ditch. Put a load of rock in it and say goodbye to it. Because these folks, they're not going to quit until it's no longer profitable. Until they no longer stand to benefit from your fear, from your pride, from your depression, even your happiness. It's a very predatory world out there. And the number one tool that people use in order to be a predator is emotion. Don't let people do that to you. Shalom.